What up guys, it's me again. As promised, I'm going to build a survival house. So let's start by getting rid of all this junk. So to do that, just go straight onto there. How do I remove this? Oh, do you know what? Quick move, I'll do. Right, so like I said, I'm going to make it nice and simple, so I'm just going to use... Okay James, shush please. So I'm going to use spruce wood, and because I like to make it look as natural as possible as well, I tend to use spruce wood logs as well. Of course, going to need the door, so you haven't got to stick with the spruce wood. I quite like this door, personally, the dark oak, but again, just to build this, I'm just going to do everything virtually the same. A good thing with survival houses is a farm. I'll show you how to build some automated farms of it after, or in another video if I get a chance. So the best thing you're going to need is obviously some dirt, some glass, and I'm going to also build a automated one. So again, you haven't got to, idea is nice and simple, but this is something you can progress to eventually once you've got some redstone and that sort of thing, because it just makes life a bit easier when it comes to building it or defending it even. So yeah, I'm just going to do how I would do it eventually. You can either use a pressure plate or a button. The idea with the pressure plate is, actually no, scrap that, the button will be better, purely due to the fact obviously then it can't just be set off by mobs. Yeah, so was that it? So dark, spruce, yeah, wood, door, dirt, glass, piston, repeaters, redstone. That'll do for now. So in a way, obviously, ideally, you want your house to be as defended as you possibly can. So in my opinion, the best way you can do that is not by building a house on the floor. So hence the reason the repeaters and things. I'll get to that shortly though. So let's start off with a basic flooring. So let's say, what, 5 by 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, we'll go 6 by 6, and that'll, yeah, 6 by 6 I think to start with, and I'll see how we get on with that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then this one go here. Oh, there. Right, so again, with the repeaters, I'm not sure that's actually going to fit, is it? No, right, so scrap that one, sorry. So let's just start with the repeaters first, in fact, because then we can get the idea on how big it's going to have to be. So if I start with these, and personally I like to get everything, like when I'm dealing with repeaters and things, I like to make sure everything's working properly. To make it easier, I'm actually not going to do a double door, purely due to the fact that it's going to need more stuff to build it with. I'm just going to make it so simple, and on top of that, it's not going to use as much resources to actually build it then. So yeah, let's start by doing this. No, need that block there. So if we do it up to about there, if I now just put that there and then put that on. Why does this thing hate me? It used to fucking work. Alright. When I first started playing this, if you'd done this, that would control both of them, not just one. So now you have to actually do it a bit differently. So I'm going to have it there and then onto the floor as well. So as you can see, it's working how it should. Right, so the next thing you need to do is obviously cover this up, because you don't want anything like this on show. If you use stairs as well, so I'll get rid of the repeater in that now, so I don't need that. So yeah, if I use the Spurswood stairs, I can get rid of that. So, good thing is about redstone, if you break it off with steps, it doesn't actually do anything. It still works how it should. But to solve the problem of being like that, just put a block down, and then realistically you're going to want it facing inwards, so it doesn't have that effect that you've got stairs laying around in upside down in your house. Alright, so we'll stick with that. So now if I get rid of that, I can replace it with that and replace the lever. In fact, I'm going to need that to come out one more. So you can get rid of the look of the pistons as well. There you go. Again, because I'm just going to use a button anyway. Yeah, you ain't going to have to worry about that piston, the lever in its place. So if I get rid of that now, just put a button now. No, scrap that. We'll stick with the lever, I think. So what you're then going to want to do is, because obviously when you're actually inside the house, you're going to want to be able to gain access to that lever as well. So you're going to need to bring the redstone over to here as well. So yeah, when you go up to the house, hit the lever and then hit it again. The good thing with this sort of idea is it's going to be its own defense mechanism as such. It'll stop creepers and that getting into the house, or zombies or anything. If obviously you enter and there's also some enemies in here, you've then got that chance to take more out before heading up inside to the house. So if I now do this, cover all of that up, right, there you go. So yeah, obviously if you want it symmetrical, then you're going to need to build this sort of thing on the other side as well. So in this case, I like my buildings quite symmetrical, just makes it look better, I think. So I'm going to need to go out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 from here. 3, 4, 5. And then in by 3. Now obviously you haven't got to sit there and fill all this one in. That's just a waste of time. And again, resources. Obviously again, you might not do this on a survival, purely due to the fact that it's going to take you a while to get the redstone repeaters and all that sort of thing. So you might stick to just a bulk standard entryway to the house, but because it's done on creative mode, I'm just getting a little bit creative with it. But this would be the ideal sort of house because again, no mobs can use levers, so it's just ideal that it's there. So yeah, right. Then if we, because again you don't want it so big just to make it a pain, we'll go, what, say about that out, which will be the area to destroy the mobs that are either in or they get in before heading up into the house. So this is a bit like an arena sort of area. And it's bulk standard. Plates, blocks here. Right, so once you've done this, the best thing you need to obviously do is keep light in here because mobs spawn when there isn't light. So again, easiest thing to get hold of in a survival mode is torches, so that's exactly what I'm going to use. You haven't necessarily got to put one on every single block, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to stick them on most of the blocks. And then, let's build the roof to this area. So when it comes to building the roof, you're going to want to leave a block here. You'll see why in a second. There we go. So obviously you're going to need a way into the house. So again, best idea for a survival is build the house in the air. Creepers and that, yeah, they can blow up the bottom, but then you're not losing a lot of your house. You'll just lose a little bit. Zombies and that, none of them can climb, so again, ideal. The only one that can potentially get you is an Enderman. So hence the reason I like the idea of building in the air. Obviously you don't want it too high up because again it's a bit of a pain to get up to a certain height, especially if you fall. Yeah, you just end up dying, so it's then going to be a bit of a pain, especially if you've travelled stupidly far to build this house. So the best thing you can really do is have like a little underground area you can be when it's night time, with a bed, so if you do happen to fall and die, you've got somewhere you can spawn right next to the house. Obviously to get into the house you're going to need ladders. Right. So, for the sake of obviously being meant to be in a survival mode, I'm gonna do it as well as I can, like recreating the survival atmosphere. So, you don't want it too big, but you don't want it to be too small either. So you're going to need a decent sized house, and I'm going to use the bottom of my the arena area as a mark to how big this house should be. Again, make it your own way, but this is just an idea of like an ideal house to build when you first go onto a survival mode. Because again, whilst you're doing this, if you have plenty of torches and that, you can also then do it at night. Once you're in the air, no mobs will be able to get you except from Enderman. So again, that's another reason why it's ideal to have your house in the air. You can continue to do it even when it's not daytime. Let's get back up there. Obviously I just fell, so you would lose health, but at this height you would not die. But again, if it's night time when you fall, you are going to then have to go out there with all the mobs that are surrounding the house. You can avoid falling by crouching, obviously, so you don't. You just stay onto the whatever block you're on. And the other good thing about being in the air, you don't actually necessarily have to have walls. So, if I now do this, and the other good thing about being in the air is the fact that if you decide you want to build onto this house, you can then do it quite freely. So for example, with what I'm going to do after I've built the actual house itself, is I'm going to build a farm here as well. So you'll have all your stuff quite close. Okay, James, stop wasting baby wipes, please. Stop. So just stop yourself from obviously falling. Just put a block around the bottom. There you go. So ideal like starter area. Do with it as you wish. Obviously you're going to need some like furnaces and things in it. So I'll quickly make that up now. Right, so if I now... Okay, James, can you move, please? So let's go with chest, just to put some bits and bobs in. I don't know why I got rid of that. The one thing I could have kept. Right. And again, stop creepers and that from spawning up there. Put torches all around, and I'll show you what this will look like when it's night time. just to make sure as well it is ideal for if creepers and that turn up. So if I go into settings, as you can see, I'm staying daylight just to make building 10 times easier. So let's just go with where are we? Always day. Do daylight cycle. Can't actually set it to night, can you? No. So yeah, we'll just have to wait until it turns to night. But then yeah, so after this, you're gonna want obviously some chests and that, some storage. So let's get some more chests down. Obviously you're not going to want to have the whole place full of chests, so stack them on top of each other. You can still use them, so yeah, there's 3 just there, just for an idea. Right, so let's go into the bottom here, put this chest back in, and then gonna want a furnace. Probably a couple of furnaces, maybe 3, 1 for food, 1 for iron, 1 for gold, diamond, not diamond, sorry, gold, copper, anything else you might need, obviously, or even more food. So, add multiple of them down again. I have noticed recently it seems like coal is quite scarce as well. So, I mean, I played this a few months ago on full survival and I found barely any coal. So it made it quite difficult to actually do anything. Oh, to be fair though, I did find a lot of diamond. Campfire, have a little campfire as well, extra lighting. It's not going to set fire to the place, I hope. You can always put like cobblestone around anyway, hopefully. That won't do nothing, but then again, who knows. Really, kid? Good, James? Let's just have a look, actually. Well, fire spreader is on, so, and it doesn't seem to be setting fire to my place at the moment. But yeah, that's just an idea, you don't actually have to. So yeah, bed, obviously, essential item for survival. Wherever it is. Just go with that one. Nice little white bed. What else? Obviously brewing stands, eventually when you got the stuff to build. Even a grindstone if you absolutely want it. Put one in the corner. Enchanted table, you'll need a whole new room for that sort of thing. Stone cutters, again, crafting table does the same thing pretty much, so you don't realistically need the stone cutter. But yeah, so that's the idea of like the house itself anyway. On to the next bit. So yeah, I said about having like a farm. The best thing you can do is... Oh, I've got a chest now. So if we take that and that, I think I'll add that. You haven't necessarily got to have stairs up to it, but I'm going to, just again, why not? So let's just build up like this. In fact, so then yeah, that's your stairs up to the bit. What we're going to need to do is we are also going to need to cut off this by 1. So maybe make it 1 block higher than what I have already. But then again, that should be alright to be fair actually. The reason why I'm doing that is because when I have done this, I'm then going to flood this out. And this is going to be my farm area. There we go. And then add another block up. Okay. And there you have it. So there's the farm. To stop, obviously, whilst you're up there, to getting shot, don't have to use glass. You can use anything you want, but I'm going to use the glass because why not? So obviously you're going to want to have some way of blocking yourself from here, so then you don't get shot by any skeletons or anything like that whilst you're going up to the farm area. So I'm just going to use these blocks for that, and that's the other reason for the glass, so then you don't get shot at. But the glass is also to then allow the plants to grow properly, because I've had a bit of a problem when it's not been done by glass, it's just been done underground. The plants don't grow very well. Yeah, I end up having to use so much like torches and things just to keep it alright. Obviously, again, for the sake of creepers and that also spawning up here. The last thing you want is to come into your farm and having creepers and zombies and skeletons up there. Right, so let's also also take it off of peaceful as well. Put on hard. Then I'll also show the fact that I ain't got actually mobs spawning in my house. So you ain't gonna want to go too high. Again, you'll be on survival for this, so just an ideal height. So 2 blocks up. That's all you need space-wise. And again, rather than using so many materials, there you go. So as you can see, I've not got any mobs in my house. And again, I can't actually see any mobs at all. But let's just go into the base here anyway. Don't for inside out. And as you see, there's still no mobs in here. So yeah, ideal house. Hasn't taken long to build. Granted, that'll take longer on survival, but it's got everything you're gonna need in one location. You ain't gonna have to go far for much, obviously, to go mining and things, but it's just an ideal sort of place to have. Your farm's there, so you can make food. Obviously, that would just be like wheat, so you can make bread, carrots, that sort of thing. So you'll still have to go out and get your meat in that, but you can do that sort of thing when you're out mining. So that's an elevated survival house, which personally I do more than I do on ground floor ones. Again, it's just so much better. You ain't got to worry about anyone or anything blowing it up, and it does look alright. It's not great. I can spend a lot more time building it, but it's just something fast to build. But if you are more set on a ground floor house, then in fact, let's just another ideal one. Just quickly. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, it can literally just be a block. I mean, I've done survival and I literally just built like a block house. I don't do nothing fancy when it comes to survival, because there's no point. The idea of survival is to survive, not sit here for hours doing a house. So this is my standard house when it comes to being on a survival, other than obviously if I decide to have a ground floor house. So I'll start by building one little block, because obviously when it, like I say again, when it gets to night time, the last thing you want to be doing is standing outside waiting to be blown up or shot by a skeleton or just eaten by a zombie. So the best thing you can do is just quickly whack up something very fast to hide in, and then just make your way either underground. I tend to do underground houses quite a lot as well. So either underground or above ground, but you just do it all from one little block. So let's put some lights in here. I don't care where they go. So from here, I'd probably build out. And I'll just turn this into a room. So I'll probably build out a bit more. Seeing as it's also now come daylight as well, so I'll probably just build out something like this. I tend to always build my farms in or next door to my house, purely again due to the fact is you want everything as close as you possibly can get it. You don't want to have to travel a mile and a half just to get to one location. And if you do, then well, good luck to you. build some rail cars. As you can also see, this house will get built a lot faster though, because it's all on the ground and I'm just basically just winging it as such. And it helps the fact that I am in creative mode. At some point I will do a full survival, and I'll feature one of my houses in it, so you can actually see what it'd be like in an actual survival and how long it will take to like build it and things to do. But up next, after I've done this, I will build some automated farms for you that don't know how to do it. Again, with automated farms, they're ideal. It takes so much less time to do farming if you do it like that. The only downfall is it does involve a lot of equipment. So yeah, this is just like my basic bog standard floor house. So again, I always start off with a little block, and then I'll build onto it, and yeah, just go from there. Just keep doing it until I build something massive or give up and just decide to go out and mine or do whatever I need to do. Again, sometimes I decide to go underground. I do actually have a house on here, I believe, that I've built in the mountains. Hang on, I'll see if I've got it on here still. Or did that get deleted when the power went out? Let's just try this one. How many times I told you, leave that alone? The lighter. If it's on here, great. If it's not, what I'll do is I'll end this video as well, and I'll then come back on. again onto a different video and do a house out of a mountainside. But I'm not sure if it is on here. No, it's not. Okay. I don't think I actually done anything with this one. Alright, so no, it's not on here. In that case, what I'll do now is then I'll end this video and I will build a house in the mountain as simple as I can for like an easy survival house in the side of the mountain. But this time, instead of actually doing it on creative, I am actually going to do it in survival mode. So, yeah, join me in the next one.